Right, welcome to JCCR Racing, where we're taking on Gran Turismo 7 GT7 as a guide to improvement and wins. So join us as we try to learn and grow together. So we got the JCCR Racing pit crew coming into the live. So if you're not watching this as a live, make sure that you throw on live comments, because a lot of great racers, A+ racers, all the way to E racers. So mix of everyone, come in and drop comments. I'm just going to get the live chat going so I can catch it on my phone as well over already for the live chat, folks. So big key to learning and improvement is having a mindset of, not being right and learning from others. And boy, am I ever wrong pretty often. So we followed the advice of Super Doofus with 140.9, really fast time for him and I, a member of the JCCR Racing team, and he said try out the 458 Italia. So I think part of improving is having a growth mindset, meaning you're really open and willing to learn. You've got all ears. You say you got your ear to the pavement, and the ear to the pavement was saying try out the Ferrari 458 for this race, the weekly online race, and boy was he ever right. So that's going to be the case every week. Hey, Super Doofus, I was just saying some positive things, sending you some love and positivity, some kindness your way, crediting you for really suggesting the 458 Italia, and it is an absolute perfect fit for this race, and it might not be the perfect fit for you. So the important is to find the car that you can be consistent with. And that also requires, a growth mindset, because if you're sort of fixed and hard and stubborn, you're not... Oh, Thrustmaster, what is going on this week with my Thrustmaster? All right. Try to get it back into position. All right, sorry about that. So you're not gonna find better ways or better techniques or better cars if you're really sort of set and fixed in your way. So you gotta have that growth mindset. All right, so you went down from, you started, Super Doofus saying you started in traction control 2 and then went down to 1 for that blistering time. That's an extremely fast time for a C lobby racer like myself. So I've got to try to work the magic here and get down to a 140 like Super Doofus. That would get us pole position in the C lobby. And that first turn is so important to get right, because after that, if you don't get it right, you're going to be going a lot slower down the straights after. Our 142, pretty much flat, is going to get us in 8th. We got Sebas up in first with a 458 Italia, followed by the Mercedes AMG, a 911 up there in the mix, and Audi. So really cool, the European competitors up there. Too bad the Fords in this game are pretty hard to drive. Now I'm going to just throw out some kindness out in the world. Oh, you got punted back to D. Well, you must just be destroying it in D and getting great positions in D, Super Doofus. I'll have to throw the laptop if you want to help out your fellow creators or just creators that you like and you don't have time to watch all their videos. Well, before bed, you open up your laptop and over the night you play video after video of their collection. You're really going to be helping them out. That kind of stuff really does help YouTube to decide to, put us into the algorithm and actually suggest us to more people. And that's how we get to grow the community. I'm going to need brake balance on 2, because I'm going to need some of that. I do a lot of last minute braking when I don't know the track that well. Oh, fantastic, Super Doofus. 6 straight races starting pole. That is key. Getting a fast qualifier is key. You got racers like Incognito having the courage to start at the way back of the pack and then move his way up. That's really tough, and it means there's 15 cars that you're going to maybe pass that could battle you out. And of course, always good to have the radar on. Hopefully we don't lose the steering wheel here. All right, so let's get set up for the turn one. Top the candies, getting the braking. Gonna go a little wide here, hoping to not get speared out. Avoid the 911 that we just collided with. And that radar helped me pick that little spot here. Get set up. So we're in 8th. This is a good start to the race. A little slow there. Often slow here, but finally getting the apex, which is crucial to that section. Usually get past, so did a practice lap in with the McLaren through here. Felt great, easy to drive, but just couldn't get down to the same times I have with the Ferrari. I love the acceleration and braking on the Ferrari here. But yes, the McLaren was definitely easier to control. So when you see a player in front of you with a penalty, watch out. It means there's an increased chance of collision. That's probably going to be deliberate. So yeah, the McLaren, easier to drive on the track, but I can still get faster laps with the Ferrari. So I just got to be nice and easy with the D1 Chosen. Yes, sir. Good evening. D1 Chosen, are you in the Ferrari Italia right now on this track? So yeah, the 458 is a beast on this track because of its great brakes and high acceleration from slow and medium turns. Gap growing right there just because I wasn't early enough and hard enough on the pedal. Coming out of the turn. Alright, D1 Chosen, you're in C rank, so am I. I'm not higher, my friend. I just got here roughly 3 weeks ago in the C. I started about 3.5 months ago online racing, starting off in E and using a handful of racecraft, a handful of tricks, craftsmanship, a little racecraft, and driving safe and smart. We have moved up into C. Despite never spending hours or even an hour doing qualifying laps and practicing. The rig is a T GT2 thrust from Thrustmaster, and it's been very good to me, but maybe my electronics in the house are a little overloaded, because when I had 2 power bars on one outlet, or off the same breaker I should say, I cooked the original steering wheel kept giving me shocks, and I could actually see the little electrical bolt coming out of the steering wheel. So eventually the steering wheel got completely cooked. Replaced it with the Ferrari Thrustmaster steering wheel, which I'm liking, but while practicing in the McLaren, the steering wheel actually turned off on us. Hey, Aussie Pug, what is up, mate? That is our mate from Australia. All the designs are from Aussie Pug that we race with. Aussie Pug. Oh, and safe, smart driving, just staying out of trouble, giving other vehicles distance and respect. We're now in 4th, and we're definitely not the fastest driver on this track whatsoever. Not even close. Try to get this apex there. That's going to help, and get back on the throttle. And with the Ferrari 458, I'm going to watch out for these slightly elevated curbs, as they will get the car a little shaky. Right there is where I want to be careful, because the car can definitely lose control. A little pulling away of the nose there. Yeah, Aussie Pug, I hear you. I also need to get, well, Aussie Pug, you already have an incredible lap time on this track. I definitely need to get more lap time in, but I do like to do lives, and I do like to kind of jump in and show that you can go from zero experience, or as I like to call it, from zero to hero, or beginner to winner. So I like to try to prove my theory that you can take on new tracks with new cars every week, and you don't have to put 2 hours of practice into the track before going online. You can put in, 5 minutes, actually 10 minutes. I usually put in 0, but I'd advise at least 10 minutes. But you can actually just put in some 10, 15 minutes of qualifying laps, get online, and if you just drive smart and safe, avoid contact, and, don't mind having the training wheels on. So maybe start off with traction control 2. 3 if you have to, but ideally 2. Start it off there and just use the training wheels, follow the markers, and you can get a good amount of fun online and actually get some decent positioning in. But you got to be willing to try new cars and put your ego aside. I am definitely doing the daily race at the moment. Trying to survive with 1 1/3 laps or 1 1/5 laps left, so I didn't catch all the text that came through. But folks, thank you so much for being in the live. I'll get to questions and more involved chat with y'all as soon as this race is done. But howdy to those of you that dropped in. All right, it's boosted 5.0. Hey, buddy. So a slow 143.7 definitely is getting us past here, but some safe, smart racing will have us take it back. Oh, I'm trying to avoid contact because well, that'd just be bad for both of us. So patience required here. And patience already about to pay off. Upshifted quickly there to avoid loss of traction. Oh, not the right rotation there. Too high of a gear. Upshifted too early. And let's see if that costs a position. No, we've got enough space. But hey, we picked up a 5th, not bad. We started, I think it was an 8th or 9th. Anytime you finish higher than where you started, you got to count that as a win. Can't expect to start in last and finish in first. It might happen, but it's pretty rare. And what I'm happy is we had a very clean race there. Oh, share the replay before I exit. Fantastic. Thank you, Super Doofus, for the reminder. There we go. So while this unwinds, I will go and share this.
Hi, friends from the north and everywhere. Hope you're all well. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Barbie Mel. Good evening. Thank you so much for saying congrats on 5th.
Working on team video. Hi Barbie oncoming fist. Vulcan salute Barbie now.
There we go, 5th, and Oh, we didn't get the clean race bonus, I guess. Yeah, good evening, Barbie. Thank you so much, Barbie Mel, for making it in. How are you? How was your day? Did you get any racing in, and was it fun or frustrating? So, huge congratulations here to Sebas Sorano, a well-earned first place, speed up, and of course the sport rating up. Actually, I love seeing that the top four, all the safety ratings went up, so all super clean races. Not sure what I did wrong to keep the safety rating at the same and have it not go up, but at least it didn't go down here. We got Lopez behind us. That was a fantastic race. I'm going to say thanks for the race. That race was incredible, and it was a clean race. That's a lot of fun. That's the way races should be. Clean and fun. And I strongly believe that we started in 8th or 9th, and I strongly believe we moved up just from being safe, smart, clean racers, putting the ego aside, which is so important trying to take on any new task. And, we
But like learning from you guys. Jumping behind the wheel soon. Evening call me hand.
All right, so Barbie Mel saying here, no racing yet, but love learning from you guys. Jumping behind the wheel soon, Barbie. That is so kind of you. And what's great is, you're probably a better driver than I am, in which case you get to, don't shy away, drop tips and tricks, share with the community what works for you to get your time lower, sorry, it's like golf, lower score better. Share with us what you do to get those improvements in. And you'll still be learning and growing. You'll be learning and growing those coaching and teaching skills. So I think it's so important here you drop the global ranking and not have the attitude of, I'll figure it out on my own. Really in life, we're best served with the help of others. And when you ask other people for help, it strengthens friendships. The person giving help feels better. The person receiving help feels better. Don't try to go through life on your own. Don't shy away from asking for help. So here we go. I'm asking for help from a global leader when it comes to racing, and I'm asking for all your help in the chat, folks. Please drop off tips. You see me making a major mistake, I'm here to learn and grow and share the few things that I know with everyone. Just also provide, a fun space where we can talk about racing. Thank you so much. That's very kind, Barbie Mel. I want to create a fun space for everyone where we can meet new people, make new friends, connect, car talk, and yes, make improvements for the sim racing. Yeah, Incognito, I agree with you completely. I cooked it right there. I gave the McLaren a try again, Incognito, before jumping in the Ferrari and before going live. And I really liked how easy it was to get nice drive lines. I feel like it turns in at higher speeds than the Ferrari. But then the Ferrari has this incredible acceleration, incredible braking. But the handling itself on the McLaren, I do find is better. Easier to drive. And very, very easy on the eyes. All right, so let's follow this, I think, lime green Ferrari here. Clearly doesn't get the Aussie Pug treatment. Ooh. Rather make that mistake here than in the next online race. I know hammering down the throttle, not the key. Oof. And I gotta know with the Ferrari, I really have to avoid those elevated curbs. I'm curious what's the fastest lap I can get with the Ferrari. But yes, the McLaren is absolutely tempting me at the moment. Let's see, when we put the brake balance, does it stick? It does stick. Great. try to keep the Ferrari under control. But Incognito's tip to try out the McLaren is an excellent one. Still cooking, absolutely cooking that turn. Oy vey. Don't normally expect the Ferrari to be difficult to control. Still fighting a little with the steering wheel to keep it under control, but it is fast. I think I'm going to take Incognito's advice. Got a fifth with the Ferrari. And I'm curious online, how's that McLaren going to feel?
Ferrari is slippery. I had to use assist.
Super Doofus, thank you very much for dropping that piece of information. Oh, Aussie Pug, congratulations. That is fantastic, mate. People who've driven the McLaren, please chime in. Brake balance, where should it be at? Aussie Pug, tell us a little bit about your rig again. Prost. Cheers, folks. On Incognito, I'm going to kick it to 5 and see what we can pull off here. Alrighty. Let's try to keep it on the track. It would be great, actually, if we start in, what is that, 6th?
Shift when you see the blue on the McLaren LS wheel.
Okay, the blue. You mean when the red bar, right as soon as it turns blue, or when it starts to flash blue? If you can clarify that for me, Incognito, it will be very helpful. I know I'm being a little thick, but I am a little thick. So the added explanation is required. Okay, right when it turns blue. Fantastic, Incognito. So Aussie Pug saying, last week they sent me the monitor and shifter mount, but rig went to the other side of the country. Oh my goodness. That reminds me when who knows, had fate worked out differently, had originally applied to police academy or police college here in Canada. It's 2 years of college followed by, I think it's 15 or 16 weeks of added more college. And they sent the acceptance application to the wrong address, the wrong town. So I ended up going to college in liberal arts and then university with a liberal arts degree as well as a philosophy degree. And then I did a year of law school, realized I did not want to become a lawyer, and then was an armored officer, a second lieutenant in the forces. Armored officer, hurt my back, and then then did a few other things. Helped manage university residences for all the programming, discipline, mental health, rules and whatnot, management of the residences themselves, the buildings. And now I am in the car sales world. Oh, the GT taking a big spear. Gave him a good old... Oh, thank you, Barbie Mel. That's very kind of you. I was not in the... Unfortunately, was not in the forces nearly long enough. I only had... If I would have done 8.5 years more, I would have gotten to retire with 50% a pension, with just 50% of the overall salary. I would have finished that, and not touchable even if I have another job. But no, unfortunately, and I really wanted to do that, and I was having a lot of fun. But no, I had to go and hurt my back, fall in the stairs with an equipment bag. Must have weighed maybe 90 or 100 pounds, and fell in the stairs, and still have back pain from that. But it has made it so now I have a family, and things went very differently in life, but very well. Philness GT, good evening. I'm trying to have a good... I'm trying not to battle tonight. Trying to drive safe and smart. It really was the secret sauce to the last race. All the usual suspects are here tonight. Thank you so much for making it in. Love new faces, but I certainly love seeing the repeat offenders. I wonder how much of a conversation you can have. I need to shift earlier. Thank you, Incognito. I wonder how much of a conversation in the real world you can have that makes sense only using movie titles. Kid, you get through an entire workday. Oh, it wasn't for ghosting there. So right now, if I understand correctly, right when the line turns blue. All right, the McLaren is making this track feel easy. The Ferrari, I felt like driving it felt so fast, just a little slippery, as Super Doofus said. I think that was the term used, Super Doofus. Slippery, and it's not wet, so it's fine when things are slippery when wet, but oof, I gotta get the radar on. This guy's been going out for the spears. The Rock up ahead. Oh, and the Viper's being classy. His name is Ram. I guess I should expect it. Fair enough. At least we were forewarned. Thank you so much, Philness. That's really kind. Don't forget to check out Philness, his YouTube channel, as well as Super Doofus. So yeah, we just dropped, what was that, 3-4 positions? We got pushed around in the bendies. Oh, he just gave us the mushroom. Fantastic. Not defending the inside there at all. We'll let him go by, but then we'll try to come right back on him. Good point, Super Doofus. It is a course where you can take the inside and you just slide on up against the competition and sort of use them to stay on track without causing much damage, so no penalty. Oof. Like he just did there, we just got used up again. Hardy Pilgrim. You Mario Kart King. Oh, I like the brake balance on 5. I see this a big trail braking race, and that's why I'm slow. Part of the reason why I'm slow. Lack of experience, lack of practice. But also trail braking is not my specialty. Mario Kart World game, the Filmus GT, that sounds like it's right up my alley. We got to bring that time down quite a bit. Give him some space here to Spider-Man. Fantastic pass, Spider-Man. That was clean. Open world and 24 multiplayer sport mode. Wow. I do like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of it requiring most likely buying a Nintendo product. The last few Nintendo products, I've not been a fan of the lack of simplicity and the controllers. The controllers look simple, but I did not find them simple to use. Yeah, cheers, Ozzy. Really happy your steering wheel and your whole kit came in. Alright, so lost a few positions from where we started. Much easier to drive. Think I'm gonna need to try the 911, at least some practice laps. Because the Ferrari, I just feel like there's too much of a chance I'm going to crash out. So it's feeling a lot like a first or last car. Oh, Nismo. That's what I was worried about. The game on ghosting you, if you take the line when you're ghosted, there's too much of a chance you get unghosted. That's going to hurt our safety rating. Oh, Nismo. I was trying to avoid him. I was trying to go more and more off track, but at a certain point when it's... You know, I'm not going to throw myself into the wall for a car that's ghosted, even though I know there's a chance it's going to get unghosted. I'm not going to brake on a straightaway either. Yeah. Well said, Super Doofus. Ghosting on this track has been a problem. Especially a problem when I pick up a 2-second penalty. It's gonna kill my safety rating. And I don't, other than braking on the straightaway for a ghosted vehicle, I don't see how that would have been wise either. There we go. Not a fun ending. Alright, so let's see how things worked out for the top 3 pole positions. Alright, Exile, congratulations. Fantastic. Your safety rating went up and you got first. Well deserved. June, fantastic as well. Third, PRRS. Good job getting third. Your safety rating went down. Maybe you just got unlucky like myself. And let's see where our safety rating went. Somehow stayed even. That is surprising despite that accident that we had. Now let's see what we can do. At least some practice laps with the 911. But the McLaren was fantastic. Nice, easy to control. Just got taken to Pound Town one too many times. Any suggestions on brake controller for the 911? Please go right ahead. I'm all ears, ready to learn. Very open to suggestions. Try 5. Oh, -5. Okay, great. Thank you, Incognito. Philness, what car have you been using this week for this track? How have you found it? Give us a bit of the details. So far, I like the feel at the -5 a lot. Hey, Ricky, Res Racer, Cheeky. Salute, my friend. Thank you very much for making it in. I find the 911 actually easier to control on this track than the 458 Italia, but am I gonna be slow with it? Oh, okay, gotta be a little easier on the elevated curves. They're there to punish us. Okay, so not far off my best time with the 458, and I did make a few mistakes there, a little slide out here and there. I'm liking this -5 a lot. Chowder Pouch, good evening, good sir. Howdy, how are you? What races have you been taking on this week, and what cars have you been using? Ooh, might have oh no, the brakes with -5 are just fantastic. Didn't overcook it at all. All the wrong lines through there. That's in those. I took those turns. Absolutely in the textbook. They are textbook, but they're in the textbook for do not take these turns this way. That is horrible. All right, last lap to try to beat the qualifying time here. Thank you. Thank you so much, Phil, in this GT. That is absolutely wunderbar. Very kind of you. Thank you, good sir. Yeah, last race we got taken to Pound Town a few too many times, at least not on the straightaways. And that one, I feel bad about that one major accident, but the GT7 decided to unghost the vehicle right as I was moving away and trying to go towards the wall. He was moving towards me, figuring he's ghosted, and he got unghosted, and we had a collision. Ooh, I like how the back end now seems to give a little kick out under the pedal, under power. I really like that. Yes, absolutely. Baron, Von, Kluwer, take it as you will. It's I'm a beginner or intermediate driver trying to encourage people to get in, put their ego aside, and just learn and grow, make some friends in the process, talk cars, and yes, for a beginner, traction control, for example, traction control on 2 or 1 for a beginner can mean the difference between actually completing the race, mind you, albeit I often complete races with a slow speed. But at least I complete it, because with traction control on 0, I would rage quit and probably never play the game again. Racing the GR3s. I do it with the GR4s, but the GR3s with no traction control, I'm fat out of luck. I will have at least one major spin out. And that one major spin out is going to cost me 15 seconds, and that's the 15 seconds that will guarantee me last place. And when you have more than one major spin out per race, it's kind of hard to stay cool, calm, and collected. The fun factor goes down and the frustration factor goes up. So I think sim great racing is fantastic. I think it can be treated like any martial arts discipline, or I used to teach tennis, and I get as much out of this as playing tennis in regards to learning and growing. And teaching tennis, whether I was teaching tennis or learning tennis, what I really liked about it is it's all about trying to get a little bit better. And when you start tennis, you start from a really embarrassing point where your balls are even going out of the, 15, 20 foot high fencing. Your balls are all over the court. They're not even always in the court, and you have to go, fetch them out of the forest or the field. But learning tennis is kind of like taking on any entrepreneurial skill or starting a new business or starting a new job. If you have the attitude of, I'm not going to do it because I'm not good or I'm not great or I'm not one of the best, the major problem is you don't take on that new business. You don't take on that new job that pays more but is challenging, because let's face it, the jobs that pay the least are the ones you're going to go in and kind of be a superstar. That's actually great advice, Baron von Kluwer, to not run anyone off the road is very important for everybody's time and fun factor. But when you're taking on a new business endeavor or a new sport, a new hobby, or really anything that's worthwhile, all the easiest things where you'll be a natural and really great at right from the beginning, meaning no embarrassment period, no taking your ego and putting it to the side. You just keep your ego right here and you're like, yeah, I'm great, so I'm going to do this. Those are all the easiest jobs that don't pay very much. It usually means working for someone else at minimum wage. Some minimum wage jobs are unbelievably hard and require a lot of effort. I can't drive straight either, Chowder Pouch, and if that's the criteria, we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat, my friend. So yeah, new skills, especially high-paying skills or high fun factor skills, require a lot of what you could say is pain and suffering. You got to kind of get through it. You have to, I think in the Army at one point, they're saying, I think it was something along the lines of get through the suck or wade through the suck or fight through the suck, because a lot of times things are just going to really suck. So here I am, sucking along with Traction Control 2 and all the aids to help encourage and motivate people to take this on, this worthwhile skill, sport, discipline, whatever you want to call it. Like I was saying earlier, I find it as rewarding as, learning to play tennis or learning to coach tennis, because you learn that very important system of learning how to put your ego to the side and just focusing on incremental improvements, small little improvements day after day, slowly get better. And if you're going to start a new business, yeah, things are probably going to suck at first. But most businesses that are successful only get successful in their, 5th, 10th, or even 15th year. Absolutely. It is about car control, and if you race with ego, then probably the car will be in less control. Woo! Got in a little sandwich there. Well, you're a fantastic driver, Baron. I'm just not there yet. I actually had to start with traction control on 4 and bring it down from there. I'm on 2, and once I know most of the tracks well, I'm going to take traction control down to 1, and GT4 for me is all about practicing traction control on 0. Yeah, Philness, I agree. We got to play the game and enjoy the game and find ways to make it enjoyable. All right. Racing down the straights without anyone hitting each other is something I definitely find enjoyable. Alright, here we go. We'll take the inside. Ooh, whoop. Ooh. Oh, there we go. A lovely Thrustmaster issue. Or is it my electrical system? Really sorry about that, folks. I'm going to find out. I think I might need a new Thrustmaster system. Yeah, that's the second time it happens tonight that the steering wheel just goes dead, not throwing me out shocks like the last one. Well, that was bad timing. Could be a firmware update to be installed. Philness, you've so far been my fantastic tech guy, getting me to adjust my pedals. And maybe at some point I'll look into that. And maybe at some point on the weekend, you'll want to give me a helping hand with that. And I'll do a share screen. Because, yeah, that's twice tonight. Much nicer when it happens during qualifying. Well, I guess focus on just learning the track. Get faster. 15 seconds behind. Not a whole lot of chance. Yeah, race car, Super Doofus, thanks. You're helping me feel a lot better about my equipment being shoddy there. But yes, race cars as well sometimes just have equipment failure. Heck, I work at a dealership, and I can tell you sometimes things happen. Car falls off a lift, or I have heard stories of, it wasn't that coming out of our garage, but I have heard stories of wheels just coming off. Actually, my parents' vehicle wheel almost came off after they had gone in for a tire change. And actually, the real way you're supposed to do an alignment and wheel swap is you're supposed to, and I actually did a very expensive wheel swap for a very much jacked up, well, very much 3.5 inch lift kit on a Super Duty with 37 inch tires, and I asked them to come back 1,000 kilometers later so we can, I wanted my guys to check all the bolts, all the nuts, the wheel nuts. So if you do your own tire changes, or if you take it into a garage, good idea, check to make sure after taking it out for, let's say, 1,000 kilometers, make sure all your nuts are still righty-tighty, not lefty-loosey. Oh, Incognito, thank you for sharing that. Glad you didn't have an accident. You know, try explaining that one to the insurance when you're like, well, I was going down a straight and all of a sudden I crashed. Speaking of going down a straight and crashing, that almost was the case right there. Alright, so before tomorrow night's live, or the next live, whether it's tomorrow night or the night after, I'm going to make sure I try to do a live every night starting at either 9 or 9:30. But I am definitely going to check to see if we've got an update to install for the steering wheel. I'll check all my connections. Yeah, Super Doofus, it does require a good amount of trust to let someone else tighten our lug nuts on the vehicles, because an error can be devastating, so why not just double check when coming out of the garage? Either right off coming out, actually the best would be to actually double check right when coming out, and then also 1,000 kilometers or about 600 miles later. Little bit of struggle. The struggle is real tonight. Okay, so third gear seems to have been the right gear selection there. Yeah, I used to play around with mechanics quite a bit. I even changed with a friend, changed the camshaft on a push rod V8. It was off a 71 Plymouth Satellite that I had. The engine blew about 3 months later, so yeah, after that I started slowing down on tinkering around with mechanics, and I also just don't have a whole lot of time anymore between 2 YouTube channels. Mind you, I did tinker around with the convertible top on the Porsche 911, and electronics ended up, did all the mechanical parts for the cable so the window could go up and down on the wire. But and then somehow, German engineering, it reprogrammed itself with sort of resetting itself when we connected the battery, but with the window up, the one window we had worked on versus the other windows, and then it was permanently inversed from there. Alright, sorry for that last place performance. A real mix-up this evening. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Very fortunate that you stuck it out through that. I don't cry quit or rage quit losing the steering wheel after getting pushed around. Could have been a bit of a rage quit, but Incognito, thank you so much, Chowder. Thank you for bringing the comedy, Chowder's Comedy Hour. And thank you so much. Really blessed to have you along for the ride, watching, chatting. It's great to have, I really enjoy this whole, buddy basement scenario. We share stories, we share car talk. Thank you so much, folks. I wish you all more cars and more power. Hope you get to put the pedal to the metal in a car that you love sometime real soon. And hey, if it's not in the real world, I still prefer this. I've got a Shelby GT350, still one Porsche 911, the 1991 Toyota MR2 complete JDM spec straight out of Japan, and the 2024 Ford F-150 over at Johnny's Car Can Reviews. But this is still my favorite way to drive because it teaches discipline, patience, persistence, and a whole lot more. So, folks, I hope you will follow along and be there tomorrow night. Take care and have a great night. Godspeed, everybody.